A very good evening to you all, and many thanks for joining us here on Rwanda Television. We hope you had yourselves a very productive day. Now, top of our edition tonight, these are our headlines. The UK has denounced those that criticize the progress Rwanda has made in helping to find a solution to the problem of illegal migrants that risk their lives to reach the shores of that country. Prosecutors and lawyers presenting those claiming a compensation in the trial of the genocide suspects Serafin Twahirwa and Pierre Basawose taking place in Brussels on Tuesday presented evidence that the accused did commit the terrible crimes against them. We're very glad to have your company once again, coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Martina Avera. Now, the UK has denounced those that criticize the progress Rwanda has made in helping to find a solution to the problem of illegal migrants that risk their lives to reach the shores of that country. This comes as a new treaty that reemphasizes in a binding manner already existing commitments in the Migration and Economic Development Partnership between the two nations, which was signed. We have more on this report.
The new treaty addresses concerns raised in the legal process about the protection of asylum seekers. We have established ways in which we will work with the UK to increase our capacity to process asylum claims, which will mainly focus on our Directorate General of Immigration and Immigration. But we will also put in place people to assist the asylum seekers to pursue legal means in cases in which their applications are rejected, if they wish to do so. That will require capacity building in our existing institutions and the establishment of new ones capable of receiving such legal issues. That was what was added into the existing treaty in order to address those issues that were raised by the UK's Supreme Court. All those procedures will be based on Rwanda's laws with the support of the UK, with the aim of finding a solution to a problem that will get worse if nothing is done.
If we don't address these issues, the people that will ultimately be the winners are the people smugglers. They are the slave traders. They are the criminal gangs, and they are the extremist voices who always take advantage of human difficulties and hardship. Rwanda is stepping forward to be a thoughtful and careful partner in solving these incredibly difficult international issues. I think that they deserve support in doing that, and I have been uncomfortable with the tone and the volume of some of the criticism directed at Rwanda for having the courage to step forward and to try and be part of the solution rather than part of the problem.
The UK's Home Secretary also expressed confidence in Rwanda's abilities as a development partner and the country's security and capability of caring for asylum seekers and other refugees. And officials from both countries have stated that the new treaty will help to speed up the implementation phase of their partnership.
Not moving far from that, the government of Rwanda states that apart from the plan to send to Rwanda immigrants who arrived in the UK illegally, this partnership will also focus on economic development. Adam Squizera with more.
On November 15th this year, the UK Supreme Court overturned the law of Rwanda-UK Migration and Economic Development Partnership as unlawful. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Vincent Biruta, noted how this partnership will strengthen the Rwandan-UK asylum process system by exchanging best practices and providing capacity building and expertise in the area of migration. He added that to understand that there is a need to find innovative ways to address the suffering of migrants instead of criticizing or basing on various speculative concerns.
Rwanda is proud to be part of a solution to a global crisis, that is the migration crisis. And it is crucial to recognize that the UK Supreme Court's reliance on speculative concerns rooted in UNHCR criticisms contradicted the UNHCR's own previous expressions of appreciation for Rwanda's inclusive refugee policies. So it begs the following question. How did we go from model to dangerous country in just 4 short years? And how much of this perception is linked to internal UK politics? This being said, I would say that there is always a room for improvement to any system designed by human beings, Rwandan or British. So this is the reason why we worked on this treaty, and we accepted to partner just to make sure we can improve our asylum system and that we have a fair and transparent system in place for those claimants to be able to appeal or just to have a judgment which is fair.
James Cleverly, the UK's Home Secretary, who is leading the UK's delegation to Rwanda, held the new treaty, citing that Rwanda has now established a strong reputation for the human and professional administration of refugees and migrants, whereas he pointed out that Rwanda has made a clear and ambiguous commitment to the safety of people who come here.
Throughout the time that we've been working with the Rwandan government, they have shown an energy and a professionalism and a desire to work in a collaborative partnership way. I cannot see any credible reason why Rwanda's track record as a partner, including as a partner for the ECHR, long-term partner for the ECHR, bearing in mind the ECHR, I think sent 165 refugees to Rwanda the day following the Supreme Court judgment. So they clearly regard Rwanda as a credible long-term partner, just as we do.
In April 2022, Rwanda and the UK signed a 5-year partnership plan concerns all migrants and asylum seekers who arrived in the UK illegally. Since the beginning of this year, more than 29,000 people have entered in the UK illegally, whereas last year 2022 marks a high record in history of 45,000 asylum seekers and immigrants who arrived in the UK through illegal paths. Adam Squizera, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Adam Squizera, for that report. Now, let us also inform you that a communique that was released by Rwanda Utilities Regulatory Authority announces that for the next period of 2 months from the 6th of December 2023 at exactly 12 p.m., the fuel pump prices are revised as follows. Maximum retail price for gasoline, which is premium motor spirit, is set at 1,639 Rwandan francs per litre. Maximum retail price for diesel, automotive gas oil is at 1,635 Rwandan francs per litre. These revisions are based primarily on price changes of petroleum products registered at the international market. This was signed on the 5th of December 2023 in Kigali by the Director General of RURA, Rudigana Evariste. Now moving on, Rwanda Revenue Authority has created a technology called MyRRA, which combines all the other methods used to file taxes. This MyRRA system is going to be used to file and report taxes. The Commissioner General of Rwanda Revenue Authority, Bizimana Pascal, explains this method and what it will do for taxpayers. Jean-Francois, the head of the Private Sector Association, also points out that this method will help them out and make sure that they do not commit or make any mistakes, as some of them were fined and others failed to pay because they would pass through various processes to pay the different types of taxes that were required. One of the taxpayers and a businessman who works in the northern province, Donata, says that she appreciates the fact that this system will help them to know all the information related to the taxes that they will be able to pay for their business. This method will also make it easier for everyone who is asked to pay taxes or who declares their tax. The management of Rwanda Revenue Authority explains that it will appoint staff who are close to the taxpayers, who are known as agents, and will be trained to help the public to be able to provide services through MyRRA throughout the country. Now, our prosecutors and lawyers representing those claiming compensation in the trial of the genocide suspects Seraphine Twahirwa and Pierre Basabose, taking place in Brussels on Tuesday, presented evidence that the accused did commit the terrible crimes against them, that the compensation claims should be granted. During proceedings that lasted for more than 6 hours, presentations were made by both sides in the trial, all focusing on the crimes the two are accused of committing in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, including war crimes that include the rape of women and girls used as weapons. Prosecutors argue that justice must be done in order for the, and I quote, never again vow the world has taken to bear any weight. Now, more than 350 researchers and other experts from 40 countries are currently gathered in Kigali for the 13th International Conference on Typhoid and Other Invasive Salmonellosis to discuss how small children can be vaccinated against typhoid because of the way more than 9 million people globally contract the disease every year and more than 100,000 die from it. We have more on this report.
Experts here in Rwanda and around the world agree that one of the best preventive measures against typhoid require maintaining cleanliness and hygiene because the virus that causes the fever is spread through contaminated food and water. Even though it is a serious illness, it is not that difficult to prevent. People must consume clean food and water, wash their hands before taking meals, and respect all other measures meant to promote hygiene in order to protect ourselves from this disease.
At 2 different time points.
Experts are also considering the use of a conjugate vaccine to fight typhoid.
It's a concern, especially in urban areas, for example, Kisumu City, Nairobi, where we have a lot of slums and we have water is a problem, and we don't treat the water. It mostly affects kids under the age of 10 years, and in some places also adults. But in the people who are affected, in many cases, are the children. Yes, so it's a concern.
A lot of us in the countries are not doing the recommended, what we call the blood cultures to diagnose typhoid. We rely on certain old antiquated tests like the Vidal test, which did not give a very good result. So there are many people in the system, including adults, who have a fever. They go to some of our testing centers and they tell them they have a typhoid fever, diagnosed by the Vidal test, which may not be at all.
A typhoid conjugate vaccine has already been tried in Africa and Asia, showing promising results.
This conference actually is very focused on understanding, the effectiveness of the typhoid conjugate vaccines that fortunately have become available. Countries are now starting to introduce them. We are hoping Rwanda will also introduce a typhoid conjugate vaccine in near future, and vaccine really protects children and people against typhoid. But with vaccination, this conference is also emphasizing the importance of investing in water, sanitation, hygiene, clean food, because that is also extremely important.
Research carried out in Rwanda between 2018 and 2022 found that out of the 26,564 tests taken in the country's clinics, 5% showed that the patients had typhoid.
And on behalf of the news production team as well as the technical team, we would like to thank you very much for sticking with us on RTV News. My name is Martina Herrera. Stay safe and have a great night.